Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Flow Builder practice series. So today we are going to talk about parent to child field update using loop element of Lightning Flow. All right, and this example we are going to do with the help of record triggered flows. All right, so let me just go ahead and explain the scenario. So this is the scenario that we have to copy account's phone number to all the related contacts phone whenever account is updated, right? So on account I'll have a phone number, and whenever I'm I'll make any change to the account's phone number, then if there are any related contacts on that phone number, then all the contacts should get updated with the phone number that I have updated on the account. Okay, so account is the parent and contacts are the child here, right? So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'll just go ahead and create a flow. And this is going to be record triggered flow. So object is account. And then I'm only considering the update scenario. So I'll be choosing this one. And condition, we can keep some condition requirement. Let's say we can keep the phone, right? That account phone is not null. So account phone, so is null should be false. All right. And then here in out of these two options, you have to select this one, actions and related records, because if you guys remember from the previous sessions, we have based on the kind of update that we want to make, we have to choose out one out of these options. So in the scenario that I'm going to explain, I have to update contacts based on the change that I would be doing on account, right? So I'm not making any change on the same record, right, on the same account record, but I have to update the contact's phone number, right, the related contact's phone number of the account, right? So that is why this is nothing but your after save scenario, right? So that is why I'm choosing this, because in my case it is applicable for after update. So after the account is updated, I want to update all the related contacts record, right? So here let's just click on done, and I'll change this to free form. All right, so the first step is to get all the contact records, right? Because so this is a record triggered flow, so do not get confused with the record triggered and screen flows. So if you guys remember, in screen flows I was if I would be doing the same scenario in screen flow, then I would also be fetching the account record, right? But as this is a record triggered flow, then I already have the account record or account details on whatever I would be making the update, right? So basically I would already have the account and account record ID and account other details of accounts. All right, so that is why I'm literally directly jumping to getting the contacts, all the contacts that might be available on the account that I would be working on, right? So here we'll use get records and get contacts, and object is contact. So on contact object, we have a field called account ID, right? That is basically nothing but that defines the relationship between account and contact, right? So now let me just write it and then I'll explain. So account ID, okay? So if you observe here, this is nothing but like a so-called query again, right? So I'm trying to fetch all the contacts, because here I've chosen the object as contact, right? But I want to fetch the contacts associated to any respective account, right? Let's say if user is working on a particular account, then only the contacts associated to only those that account should be fetched, right? Not all the contacts from the system, right? So that is why I'm verifying that I want to fetch the contacts which is related to the account on which the user is working. So as per the record triggered flow, I already have the account. That means I already have the record ID, right? And if you guys remember, in case of record triggered flow, you get the current record ID with $record ID global variable that they already have. So record dot ID. Okay, so this is nothing but your account ID, because that is what the flow will have, because you're working on account, right? You choose the object as account when you are selecting the record triggered flow, right? So account ID, this should be matching with the account ID on the contact. So this way I will get all the, let's say if there is an account and there are like, 3 contacts. So if I write a SOQL query, select ID, account ID from contacts, where account ID is equals to this account ID, right? And this ID already I have from the record, right? Because it is a record trigger flow. All right. So, and then all the records, right? And also one more thing, the moment I select all the records, the result that I will be getting out of this is going to be automatically a collection variable. Okay, because this will have like multiple contact, this could have multiple contact records. That is why it is going to store the result in a collection variable. All right, so we'll click on done. Okay. All right. Now let's just go ahead, and before I actually start running the loop over all the contacts and try to update the contact phone number with the account phone number, I want to create a decision before I run that loop, so that if there are, because there could be contacts where there are there are no association between the account and contact, right? So I want to make sure that I have something in this collection variable, right? In this as a result of this get records, I have contacts, then only I want to go ahead and run a loop. Otherwise I don't want to do that. So I'll just go ahead and include a decision over here. So check for null. Okay, so here this is the get contacts result, right? So this should, so is null here should be false. Okay, that means this is not null, right? That is why I'm selecting is null is equals to false. So if this meets this condition, then only we'll go ahead and okay no, null. All right, so I think this is okay. Okay, now we can actually go ahead and run the loop on the contacts. So before running the loop on the contact, if you remember anything from the loop element, how do we use it? So let's say so we have to create 2 variables, right? One to store the single instance of the contact, like contact record. When your loop will run over all the contacts, then you have to create a temporary variable to store the to store each and every context instance, right? And then you also have to create another variable which will be a collection variable, where you can actually add all those single instances of the contacts, right? Because inside the loop you will not be able to make any update element, right? You cannot use this update records inside the loop. So that is why we will create two variables, one to store the same every instance of the contact record. Let's say if there are 4 contacts, and when you're actually looping over all the records from this collection variable, right, whatever you have stored here, then one variable to store each and every contact record, and then one collection variable to keep on adding everything to that collection variable. And once we get out of the loop, we can use this one update records elements, so that we can update context phone number with account phone number, right? So let me go ahead and create 2 variables here. So the first one is, let's just name it as contact record. Okay, and this will be record, and this is we are not marking it as allow multiple values, because this is only going to single instance of the record. So contact and done. And another collection variable. Okay, so contact collection. Here we are going to allow multiple instances. Okay, and object is going to be contact. Or you can also just for your for easy reference, or if you're having issues to understand that why every time we are calling it as collection, you can just keep it as something as contacts list. So I mean, just by seeing this, you'll understand that all the contacts are stored inside this. So this, now let's just go ahead and use loop. So I'll go here, iterate over contacts. Okay, here collection variable is this one, right? Get contact records, because this is where we have all the contacts when we actually fetch from the system, right? And this is where we have to actually run the loop. So we are taking this first item to last item, which is fine. And then when the loop is running, see, if it is not null, then only it will actually go inside the loop. So if so with every loop, what we have to do, we have to do the assignment, right? So I'm just going to use the assignment. Actually, before doing the assignment, let's just make one change, I think. So here, if you see, I have only put the null check, right? But when do I want this flow to run? I want this flow to run every time somebody is making a change to the phone field, right? It should, otherwise, it's gonna run every time. Let's say if you go to an account and if you update any other field, then also this flow is going to get triggered, right? Because somebody might not be changing the phone number, but let's say they have provided some phone number, but every time they are making any update to any other field, this is going to run, right? So I don't want this to run every time. That is why I'm going to make it is changed true. All right, so true. And I think yeah, this is fine. Now let's just go ahead and proceed with assignment. Assign contact record. So contact record. So now we are inside the loop, okay? And inside the loop now, let's say it has taken the first contact record. So inside the loop, what and all we have to make sure. The first thing is that the ID for this single contact record should be the ID from the loop's contact record, right? So dot ID should be where is the loop? This is the loop, and dot ID. So ID. All right. Now what we want to do, we want to assign the phone number, right? So contact dot phone. This is phone equals to now this we have to take from the account, right? And where is the account? Account is in the dollar record global variable, right? That is where it is stored. So we have to search for record dot phone. So found phone, okay. And that's it. Okay, this is the assignment. So every time the loop picks up one contact record, right? Let's say if there are 3 contacts. So when the first contact come inside the loop, it is going to make sure it is going to assign the contact ID from the loop's contact ID, right? And then business phone from the accounts phone, okay? And then when the loop takes the second contact record, it is going to do the same thing. It will assign this contact ID from the loop elements ID, right? And then also the business phone, it is again going to pick up from the account. So if you see in both the cases, right, no matter how many times the loop is running, it is picking up the phone number from the account and stamping it on contact's phone number, okay? And this is what we want. So click on done. And now, yeah, for every element, we have to do another assignment because we have created another collection variable, right? Because now even though the assignment is done, I should not be using the update records inside the loop, right? So that is why I'm going to add each and every contact record to the collection variable that we have created, right? This is the collection variable that we have created, contacts list. So another assignment and add contacts to the list. And what is the list? This is the list. Add, and we have to add contact record, right? This is where we have added the values, correct? And that's it. You have to just click outside. You don't have to select anything. That's it. And click on done. Or you can just keep it here. And then you can, let me just rearrange this a little bit. All right, okay. So now let's just go through it again. So I have started the flow, record triggered flow, and the object is account. And I'm going to, this flow should only get triggered if the account record is updated, right? Not on the creation. Condition is that phone, every time the phone is getting changed, then only I want this flow to be triggered so that it can update the changed value of the account's phone to the all to all related contacts phone number, right? So, and we have selected the after save action because we are doing a cross object updation, right? Because we are not updating anything on the account itself, not populating anything on the account, but we want to update something on the contact, right? So, and that we can only do after this update, right? After the update is done on the account. So that is why this option, okay? And once this is done, I have fetched all the related contact records using the account ID from here. And where is the account ID? That is nothing but dollar record, right? Because dollar record is the global variable that will actually hold the values from the current record, right? It's like, it's dynamic. No matter what record user is actually working on, it is going to have the reference of that particular record, right? So record.account ID should be equals to the account ID of the contact. So that is how I will get all the related contacts, okay? And once I have all the related contacts, I'm checking if the contact, sorry, not this, but what we should actually be checking the phone, right? Phone, sorry. So this dot, sorry. No, actually will not get the phone directly from here. So hold on. Collection variable, right? This is the one that we have got from the get contacts element. So this was okay. Whatever we had used, that was okay. Is null should be false. So this is fine. All right. So when the when the loop has actually iterated over all the elements of the contacts, then we can go ahead and update the contact records. Okay. So update contacts. And then here you have to use the IDs and all the fields from the record or record collection. Okay. And what is the collection? Where we have kept all the updates of the contact in the contact list, right? That is where we have added all the assignments. So contact list, and that's it. So after last element, it should actually update the records, and that's it. So let me go ahead and save this. Into child update. All right, save and activate this. Now let's just go ahead and check. So I'll go to an account where I'll have contacts. So, okay, so there are two contacts and this is the phone field. This should be the business phone, I believe. Let me check. Okay, I have all, I'm not sure, which one is the one that we have selected, but it should be either this or this one, or could be this one as well. But let's just go ahead and make the update on the account. So I'm going to update the account's phone number. Okay, this is the phone number. And let's just make it as something easier to see. And then we can, see it from here itself. Otherwise, we'll open the contact and check. See, it got updated, right? So whenever I'm changing the phone number, it is updating the phone number of all the related contacts, right? And if you remember in the first, the entry point of the flow, I have put that condition, right? If account's phone is changed is equals to true, that if somebody is changing the phone, then only it is supposed to make any changes on the contact, otherwise not. So let's say if I make any change here, right? Let's say anything. So for example, let me just show you this. So let me just make it blank, or no, let me just show you from some other account. So let's say we go here and I have 0 contact, right? So let me create a contact. Okay, let me think. Okay, so now, okay, we are in the same situation now, but let me just go ahead and see. Sorry, let's just take another account. Okay, so we can take this one, right? So if you see now the phone number, we have the phone number on account, but there's no phone number on contacts, right? So I'm going to make any changes on any of the other fields of the account, but I'm not going to touch the phone number, okay? So now if I hit on save, the contact's phone number should not get updated, right? Because I have made that condition in the flow that this should only get updated. The flow will only be triggered if somebody is making any change on the phone field, right? But I am not making any change on the phone field. So let me click on save. All right, so see, the phone is not updated, but let's say if I make any change here, right? 0. Then the phone should get updated. All right. Okay, so I hope you understood, like, whatever we did in this one. In the next video, I'm going to do the reverse case that we'll be updating something on the child, and we would want the flow to update the parent record, okay, based on the update that we are making on the child record. Right, see you in the next session. Bye bye.